Alright guys, welcome. Today I'm going to be telling you guys about why and how I started my own business in college. It wasn't easy, there was a lot of ups and downs, and things aren't perfect now either, but I just want to describe a little bit about my process of how I did it, why I did it, and how it's going, because it's interesting, it's fun, it's exciting, and it's a really awesome thing to see when you put in the work toward your own business. You actually see the direct benefits out of it, and it's not something where you're just putting in the time, you're underappreciated, you're not getting paid what you should be. Like, whatever you want to put in, whatever you're going to charge, whatever you're doing to build up this business, you get those rewards. And I just thought some of you guys would think that's interesting to find my process behind why I did it and how I did it and where it's going to go. So with that being said, I will jump a little bit around, when I created my first business, how that didn't really go to plan, when I changed my major in college and why that affected kind of my business choices, a little bit of things. We're going to be jumping around, but either way, if you guys do enjoy, please do drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I can also make a more in-depth video about the details of actually how to create a business more step by step if you guys would like to see that as well. So drop a like and comment down below if you do want to see that. Subscribe so you don't miss that video. Follow me on social media, and let's get started. But yes, guys, this video is actually sponsored by Skillshare, so massive thank you to them. Skillshare is an online learning community where they have just tons of classes for curious people, for creative people, for business people, whatever it might be. You'll find a class on Skillshare where you can learn about whatever you want, whether it's freelancing, videography, photography, illustration, animation, woodworking, anything you want. There's so many classes that you can browse on Skillshare, and the best thing is it'll fit anyone's schedule. You can do it on your own schedule. You don't have to attend something when you don't want to, and most classes are under 60 minutes, so they really do fit any schedule for busy people, or if you want to spend all day on it, you can do that too. One class, for instance, that I'm excited to actually attend myself is called right here, The Art of the Start, Turning Ideas into High Growth Businesses, and that's by Guy Kawasaki. Now, if that doesn't sound interesting, especially relating to this video, I don't know what does. And that's literally going to be talking about freelance entrepreneurship and how to grow your business, which is kind of exactly what this video is starting to be about. But this person has so much more experience than I do, and you can just learn so many things from other people, bringing together ideas and finding what might work best for yourself. It's so important to hear what other people have to say, especially people who have gone through the things that you might be trying to go through yourself. Well, the first 1,000 people who use the link in my description will get a free trial to a Skillshare premium membership. So thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Let's get on with it. When I first got to college, I was going for a business degree, and therefore one of the first things that I wanted to do was try to create my own business. I wanted to start something that I could continue with throughout college and eventually maybe make my full-time job, maybe make into something bigger where I have other employees. So long story short is, I went right to work on trying to find a business idea. I kind of rushed it in a sense, which is something that's not terrible to do. I've kind of always been the type of person who is documenting things. I like taking videos, I like making YouTube videos, I like taking photos, all these types of things. So therefore I actually have a little bit of documentation about my process starting a business all the way from like 3 years ago, and just kind of what my process looked like, just kind of how I was doing everything, working late at night, trying to figure things out. But let's just take a quick second to talk about the fact that I was going for a business degree originally, and now I'm in advertising through the School of Journalism. So the potential for my career path has definitely changed. However, as I started working on some of this business stuff, alongside taking those business classes, obviously things are going to get more developed as you go through the school, and things are going to change in the business world, not just for a single business owner. And it's not to say that business classes are only if you want to start your own business, one person starting the whole thing. There's many things you can do with a business degree. I still think it's a great thing, but I realized it wasn't for me, especially as I was working on my business, because I realized that so much of this is just something that you have to learn yourself. You have to make the mistakes yourself, and you have to go through all the different motions as you're going through them. There's no one who can really teach you this type of thing, because every business is going to be so unique. So as I had that in mind, I'm thinking, you know what, I already don't really like the classes I'm taking. They're not interesting to me. And on top of that, I know that I want to own my own business. I'm starting things now. And we'll get into exactly what my business was and what it is now, because it's not the same business. I had a few that I tried and failed with. I just decided that I didn't like the way that things were going in business. I actually wanted to improve my skills in something that I was more passionate about, which is definitely creative work. Making YouTube videos is something that I actually had for a job throughout high school. So it's something that I'm very familiar with, but there's a lot more that I could learn there. And that's something that I wanted to take a lot further. Let's say I don't even end up owning my own business. I want to be more passionate about my job, wherever that may be. And something creative in the lines of advertising and the School of Journalism is something that would definitely allow me to do that. So that was kind of my thinking as the backup plan. Okay, well, if my own business doesn't work out, well, that's at least going to be my career path, something creative, something that I'll have fun with. And let me just tell you about some of the reasonings of why I wanted to be a business owner in the first place. Yes, of course, you're going to have a lot more trouble getting it started in the first place. You can go out and find a job and you're just going to be getting paid, right? If you're opening your own business, you have to find clients, you have to find people who you're going to sell your product to, whatever it might be. You're going to have to find people who you can sell your service to. It's going to be tough, and it doesn't just happen overnight. And that's kind of why I figured, okay, well, you know what? I'm in college. This is kind of the time where I can do that. I don't have to have it happen overnight because, yes, I'm taking out loans to pay for school. So I'm already going to be here for a few years doing my thing. I might as well put in some of this extra time into seeing if I can't create something out of that. And I figured it was worth it because if you think about it in the long run, if you're putting in your time to building something up, whether it's a job or your own company, if it is your own company, you're building it up and you're going to see the profits, you're going to see all of the growth, and you're going to have the decision of, do you want to reinvest that into the company? Do you just want to take the profits for yourself? You basically just get to choose what you want out of your reward for your hard work. But if you have a job, you obviously don't get that same benefit. Let's say your company that you work at is worth $2 million. If you're one of the top people putting in a ton of work, you're still not going to get that much out of it. You might get a raise, which is nice, but let's say you're part of the reason why your company goes from $2 million valuation to a $10 million valuation within a few years. You're not going to get $1 million raise most of the time. Of course, yes, that can happen, but you're not going to see the same benefit as if you're the one that owns this company, if you started it from the ground up, because you didn't take that risk. And so that's something that I wanted to do, right? And it might fail. I might have to try it time and time again, but I do have something that's going well right now. But of course, before we talk about that, we need to go back to the beginning. What were my initial businesses? What was I doing before I kind of found the thing that works for me? Well, like I said, it started with me being in business school, not exactly my passion per se. So the business that I decided was actually on dropshipping. If you guys don't know what that is, dropshipping is basically a business where you are basically kind of a middleman selling from a supplier to the buyer, and you're making your own online web store, online shop, and you're selling whatever product you want. It could be things like, you'll see tons of Instagram ads. Most Instagram ads you're going to be seeing, at least, a large percentage of them are going to be from dropshipping stores when it's just small individual items, little things. Have you ever seen like a wave necklace or something like that? That's almost always going to be something that was dropshipped. So that means they're supplying it from China. They created their store and they're saying, look at our wave necklaces. This is a product that we have. We have other things too, but check out all their different jewelry and hopefully you enjoy it, all that type of stuff, right? So then you go check out their store, you order it. They don't actually have the inventory most of the time. They just go ahead and take that order, say, okay, supplier, I need you to send this to this person. I've just made a sale on my store. That's a long story short. There's more, of course. But that's what I decided to go with. So obviously, you can tell, not exactly my passion. It's not very creative. It's definitely fun. And I would actually say that it was a good experience. I'm glad I did it. But it was just not quite what I was going for, right? Even just the fact that you wouldn't have the inventory yourself, you don't get to interact with the items as much, and the shipping times are going to be kind of out of your control. It just wasn't the right thing for me. A lot of people have great success on dropshipping stores. So about this time is when I did make that change to switching out of business school to go for a journalism degree, advertising specifically. And of course, with that being said, I start thinking about the jobs that I might get, working at different agencies, being on different creative teams, and seeing some of the work that was already being done. And I started to realize that this is stuff that I can already do now. This is stuff that I already have done, working for, different companies throughout high school, doing YouTube videos and stuff. I actually did have a lot of experience with doing creative work, with working with companies to provide sponsored posts, messages, things like that. With that thought, I figured, why don't I create my own agency where, going back to what I said earlier, if I'm building it up, if I'm doing great work to build the company, why don't I get more benefits out of that and have something that is mine and that I get to work towards and that I actually get to put all of my dedication into, knowing that it's directly related to me, it's directly related to, the benefits that I'll see out of it later. So that's when I created, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, my media company. And that's what I've been doing ever since. Working in media, I decided that a lot of companies need help with a lot of things related to their content, whether that's blog posts on their website, whether that's social media, managing it or creating posts for them, whether that's even things like website design, because you don't need to know how to code a website to improve people's website and improve the content on it. That's something that I've started to dip my toes into as well and try to improve on that. And of course, things like editing videos, editing photos, actually taking photos on some occasions as well, just different things like that, and just trying to improve as I go, but always just taking into consideration what needs to be done and making sure that I don't rush it. And of course, if you find something that maybe someone wants you to do, but you're not capable of doing it, you just don't take the job sometimes. You figure out that you just have to know when to say, that's not in my range of skill right now, or I don't have the resources to do that. A little bit of everything within the media sphere, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm still learning. I'm still in school even, so I have a lot of things to learn, but things are going well, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it, which is something that I find very, very important. Now, it didn't just happen overnight, like I said. Of course, there's many details to how I actually got it started, which I can totally make another video on, from everything from creating an LLC, so that's a limited liability company, so I actually am covered for certain things, but that's a whole different thing. I'm not going to get into that right now. For actually creating a website, how did I go about that? For finding my first clients, of course, how did I go about that? Obviously, yes, there's a lot of details there that I didn't cover here. But since then, it's been up and down, especially since the whole virus thing started. Being a small company, finding new clients, it's tough. I won't lie to you. It did slow down for a while, of course, because companies weren't really hiring as much. Not only not hiring, they weren't outsourcing work. They weren't looking for new services like that. So yeah, it was definitely tough. And being a business owner is not something to take lightly. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it just feels good to know that whatever work you're putting in, it's your business and it's something that you're going to get out of it. You're not tied down to someone telling you what you can or can't do, or how much you can or can't make, or what's your cap, what's the most you can do about it. Now, I'm not going to lie, we've got a long way to go. I'm not talking about this being some empire yet, It's been a year and a half. I've been putting in some work to it. I don't have any other employees yet. It's still just me. So, I've got a long way to go. But yeah, I just wanted to document a little bit about my journey, why I decided to make my own business, and see how you guys feel about it. If you guys want another video about the specifics of what to do step by step for some of this business stuff, I can absolutely do that, but this video would be like 45 minutes long if I went into every detail. But I just wanted to cover why I felt it was important to actually take that step and try to do this, and why I literally think anybody can do it. Whatever passion you have, whatever hobby you have, you can turn that into a source of income and your own business at the end of the day. When I was playing video games in high school, I saw that opportunity to create YouTube videos, and I worked really hard, for a long time. I was not getting paid for it, but over time I kept building and building my audience, and I turned gaming into, a job throughout high school, and I was making quite a lot of money. So it really just goes to show, whatever you want to do, whether you're a creative person, whether you're a gamer, whether you're a computer programmer, you can do so many different things if you just take the time to build your own business. Don't get discouraged, because you will have days where it might even seem like nothing is happening. It might not only seem, it might literally be that you're losing money. You're paying for your website every month or every year, depending on your plan. Maybe you're paying for some advertising and you haven't got a client. There's risk involved. There's certainly many risks, but you can do it without risking too much. You don't need thousands and thousands of dollars to start a business. I started my business well under $1,000, well under hundreds of dollars. You can start with such a little amount many businesses you can literally even start for free, man. You don't even need that much money. But that's just a little bit of my process of how I started my business and why, a little bit more towards the why type of thing, because how, a lot of nitty gritty details on how that all goes, how to set it up, but the overall process. And I just think it's something that you guys would find interesting, since I do make a lot of college videos and videos surrounding, business. I've made a stock video in the past. You guys enjoyed that. Speaking of which, I could do a 2020 roundup of how my stock portfolio is looking after a pretty crazy year. And surprisingly enough, it's looking very, very good. So if you guys do want to see that, you can let me know. But yes, guys, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, as well as I already noted. If you did enjoy and you want a part 2, please do let me know by dropping a like and commenting down below. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't want to miss those videos. We'll have a ton coming by the end of the year. I've got some good plans. And yeah, with that being said, follow me on social media. I would appreciate that. And that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Peace.